Rakim here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And I was flipping through a lot of papers that I had from back in the day, and I stumbled upon something that I wrote 10 years ago. This is my mission statement, and along with 10 signs that your relationship is going downhill and going straight to hell. The 10 signs that your relationship is going downhill and straight to hell. And my mission statement I wrote years ago. And, a wise man once told me, which was my father, rest in peace to him, salute. He told me a life worth living is a life worth recording. And check this out. I'm going to show you some shit that shit I be telling you to do, I do. This is my journal. You know what I'm saying? I had this since 2008. And I got pages and pages and pages of shit in here. So when I tell you to write shit down, I'm not saying that shit just because. Shit I tell you to do, I actually do it. Because, that's just how I roll. That's how I live. I do this. And this is old paper. Look at this old paper. It's 10 years old. I got this piece of paper from a Japanese hotel 10 years ago. And I wrote this shit down one night when I was at the hotel. And here's my mission statement I wrote down 10 years ago. Is to give every man the knowledge and wisdom to be the man he was born to be and attract the woman of his dreams. That's my mission statement 10 years ago. This is before I came on the internet, by the way. And, you're probably one of those guys that leave things by chance. And think you might believe that you're supposed to have good relationships. You just assume that things supposed to go your way, right? You might be one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys. I'm an optimist. Don't get me wrong, but this is the United States of America. I don't assume shit. You hear me? Don't assume shit, because the only thing that I've seen worked on many different levels, in many different professions, industries, careers, if you want to win, you got to set yourself up to win. If you're a non-white person, that's how it is. I don't leave shit by chance, and I don't assume shit, because it's based on my experience and based on what I've seen for the past 43 years. Don't assume shit. If you want to win, you got to set yourself up to win. And that's just how I roll, man. So here's my 10 signs that your relationship is on the way to hell. And the first one is the opinions of others matter more than yours. So in other words, if you worry about what other people's saying about you, if you let other people influence you, you're weak. Your word is no good. You're going to be all over the goddamn place. So if you're in a relationship with somebody like this, it's almost guaranteed to fail. I mean, you're going to be all over the place. And 9 times out of, there's a lot of guys I know that's like this. 9 times out of 10, the woman wears the pants in that relationship. If the guy's all over the place, if he, because 9 times out of 10, he's going to be trying to pander to her. He's going to put her on a pedestal and treat her like she's better than him, and show her, give her all this respect, which in most cases most women don't deserve, because they haven't done anything to deserve it. Respect is earned, not just given. I mean, see, a lot of women have this thing where they act like somebody owed them something. Like, you're supposed to automatically treat them a certain type of way just because they're a woman. But I never seen that when I was growing up. I don't know how it came about in this day and time, but I didn't see that shit until I think the 10 years ago. That's when I started seeing that. You know, I mean, they started really putting women on a pedestal like never before, without them even earning it. It's like, you got some women walking around here thinking just because they are associated with a certain group politically or economically, or sometimes just because they're part of a certain family or certain nationality, that they're privileged and better than the rest of the women. And they'll treat other women badly and misbehave. That's crazy. There's women out here that think like this. I'm serious. So I just get the hell away. I get the hell on whenever I run into women that's like this, or even people that's like that, just in general. So that's number one. If the opinions of others matters more, you're weak. Number two, don't always be the one adjusting. And this is a big one. If you're a guy always bending over backwards trying to make time for a woman, and she's not doing the same in return, and if you're always going above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that you're available, well, then you're not a challenge to her. She's just gonna run all over you. You're gonna be like a doormat, a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. I mean, you can't accommodate everybody all the time, or anybody all the time. Not even your kids. You know, you gotta, do something for yourself, or at least, have your own thing going on. Create your own little world within your family, if you have one. How's that working out for a lot of guys? So don't always be the one adjusted. Number three, you're always being criticized. This is a big one too. If you're around somebody that's always negative, they don't support you, they downplay everything you do that's relevant, or that maybe you got an award, maybe you got a bonus, and they always say no to everything, including sex, and they downplay any achievement that you do. You got to get away from that person, because 9 times out of 10 they're in competition with you, and they're just a full-blown hater. A lot of these people, a lot of women, I think I met like 3 women, secretly they were in competition with me. So at the time, I'm like, how the hell, the first time it happened, I'm like, how the hell can you claim to have all these feelings for me, but at the same time, you're in competition with me? And what it is a lot of women, they want to be, they want all the attention in the relationship. They want you to put them on a pedestal, and you supposed to sit your ass down and let them get all the shine. That's what it really is. That's what it really boils down to. Because what happens is, when I was in North Carolina, I was a well-known guy in the city. And what happened is, I used to take certain women around with me, my girlfriend at the time, and around my friends, some family, and some people I've met over the years, associates, co-workers, etc. Right? And I always observe how women react around me, around other people. And I noticed when people used to show me a lot of love and show a lot of respect to me, a lot of women didn't really understand that shit. That they didn't understand that. Women that I used to bring around didn't really get that. Because they're looking at me like, why the hell everyone likes you like this? Yeah, I mean, they didn't really, a lot of them didn't understand, and they still don't understand to this day. Some women don't get that. Even the women that I wasn't involved with, we were just friends, with no sex, of course, They don't understand why I'm such a likable person. They feel like something has to be missing. It just can't be this way. That when one chick actually came out and told me this shit. She said, "You're just too perfect. Has to be something about you that's dirty," or some crazy shit she was saying. But I just kept it moving. I don't fuck with her no more. So stay away from the haters. Number 4, you're the follower and your partner is always the leader. Now, if your woman is wearing the pants in the relationship, you're headed for self-destruction. Because number 1, women aren't, they can't maintain that leadership position. They're just not built like that. This is why a lot of women that work these corporate jobs, they got high ranking positions, they usually die early. They'll get sick, catch diseases, cancer, that's a big one. Cancer, and they become diabetic, and a lot of them don't make it. They don't live long because they burn out. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, they might retire from the banks or the corporate job if they get lucky, but look what happens to a lot of them. They get sick. A lot of them are popping pills too. They popping antidepressants and shit like that. And a lot of these women aren't going to tell you that shit, that they're popping pills. But if you get to know them and you go to their house, you're going to see them damn pills in there. And if you get lucky, some of them might tell you that they have some type of illness as well. But women, they can't really maintain that type of lifestyle. So don't let women wear the pants. And number 5 is you worry about what your partner is doing too much. Now, if you're the paranoid type guy, that you're always worried, paranoid what's going to happen when you leave the house over the weekend, or when you go to work, what might happen, or if you find yourself trying to control the household, including your wife and your kids, you probably something has went wrong, because that's really a sign of weakness. Something has really happened. You lost confidence in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the way to go. You can't control. You really can't control anybody. I mean, if whatever someone wants to do outside of you, I mean, besides your kids, nothing you can really do. And even on a certain level, at a certain level, you can't control the kids either. But you can control a woman. You can't control a man. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, even if they have to sneak out. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know. So that's number 5. Number 6 is it's never enough. So if you're around a woman or a man and it's just never enough, you try your best, you do what you do, you try to please this person, could be sexually, could be mentally, could be in any type of physical manner, could be on the holidays, it could be on the birthday, and it nothing ever enough, because a lot of people have unreasonable expectations. They always, women see what most women see, that's what they want. But they don't have they're very irrational thinkers, a lot of women. And they're not very practical, I would say. So if a woman sees something, especially if their friend have something, they want it too. If their friend got it, they want it too. But here's the problem with that way of thinking. Everybody is not in the same position. See, there's different levels to the game. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women don't understand this. So sometimes if she don't want to get on your program, assuming you have a program for her to follow, you need to plan to get rid of her, because it's always going to be a rift. It's always going to be some friction. You're always going to bump heads. So you got to plan to get rid of her ass. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit is. And then the next one is no sex. Now, this is a big one. Because a lot of guys get caught up in this. If you have to barter, negotiate, and beg for sex, something has terribly went wrong. And if you're a woman, and if a guy doesn't want sex from you, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's always a woman's fault. If a guy turns down sex from a woman, it's her fault. She's done something to turn him off. You know what I'm saying? But if you as a man, if you have to ask a woman for sex, she's just not into you like that. Because that's one of the main cards that women have. The vagina. So if she stoops that low to manipulate you to do something, you gotta find somebody else to get on your team. You gotta have an exit plan for her. It's not gonna work. It's very difficult to be in a relationship like that. This is why a lot of guys just don't give a shit. They'll just go somewhere else and get the shit taken care of. I mean, they'll continuously live with the woman or whatever, but they said they'll get tired of that bullshit after a while. They just go somewhere else, get the shit taken care of, their urges, and come back home, and it's all good. But to each his own. So next one is you have lost control. I kind of spoke about that earlier. If you've lost control, and you feel like you have to become like a control freak, that's not the way to go. You gotta, something has happened, and that's kind of weak. That's a weak mentality. It's a real weak move to try to control anybody. So just find another way. And number 9, it feels like a job to make your partner happy. Now, relationships, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And it takes a lot time and effort to maintain and a household and relationship and take care of the kids and the wife and the husband and everything. But it shouldn't feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't feel like hard work. You know what I'm saying? The same way you get up and get in your car and go somewhere on the weekend, or take a vacation, or go out to the club, or go out to that company event, or when it's time to have sex, that's the same way you should feel when it's time to make your partner, at least help your partner, feel happy, I should say. Because happiness is an inside job. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't feel like, it shouldn't be a struggle within inside you. Or you shouldn't feel like you don't want to get out the bed. You know, like you're going to work or some shit like that. It shouldn't feel like that. It should be natural. It should feel good, like drugs. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should feel. It shouldn't feel like you're pushing and grunting. Get out of the bed because you got to take the kids to school, because you gotta fuck your wife tonight. You know, there's some guys that, the reason why I said that, because there's some guys that will get off work and go to the bar right after work, have a couple of drinks, because they really don't want to fuck the wife tonight. It's guys that I've heard guys say this shit. You know what I'm saying? They got to have a couple of drinks in them because they're not really attracted to her anymore. So they got to have a couple of drinks and be out of their mind to perform. Sad but true. You know, there's some women like this too as well, you know. So, you know, if it feels like a job, something ain't right. And the last and final thing, it just doesn't feel right. So if you're in a relationship where you're afraid to express yourself because of the consequences, you're afraid that the person might flip the fuck out, or you're afraid that they might harm you in some type of way, or they might get violent in some type of way, or they might get disrespectful in some type of way, you probably you got to get out of that shit. Because 9 times out of 10, you've let shit get too far. You know what I'm saying? If you give an inch, a motherfucker will take a mile. So what happens is, you know, a lot of guys let things get too far, and they let women disrespect them without checking the woman on some of their mistreatment and the way they misbehave. And after a while, the shit blows up like a goddamn balloon. And, you know, they get, you know, overboard, and after a while, shit get violent. And a lot of that shit, I blame on the guy, because you have to teach people how to treat you. You know what I mean? And if they don't if they don't respect that, if you tell a woman that you can't tolerate that, or you can't accept that, whatever it is that you dislike, and if she don't want to get on board with that, you got to cut her off and move on. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So those are the 10 signs that your relationship is doomed to fail and is going to hell. And I wrote this shit down, man, because I don't leave nothing by chance. I wrote this shit down 10 years ago, man. I still got it. I don't leave nothing by chance, and I don't assume shit, because I play to win. And this is how you should be thinking too. You know, living in the United States of America, we can sometimes take things for granted, and most guys are just winging it out here. But I'm here to tell you, you can't wing shit. You got to be strategic, and you got to always strive to get better every damn day. You know what I mean? So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, check out my blog, and if you haven't read my book yet, click the link below this video and you can start reading it immediately. So until next time, I'm out.